It is game time once again. Here we are again with Zur, and this time around I'm facing Azusa, Lost but Seeking. Azusa is almost always seeking big mana spells to go with all the land and mana that it tends to put into play. I'm going first here. I have an excellent draw, especially against mono green where they have so little disruption. In the early going, I have the ability to put out Zur on turn 3 and attack with it with Thought Vessel out, which is generally good times. Hopefully this game is no exception. There really are only a handful of things that Azusa can have that can really interact with a turn 3 Zur. That Treefolk enchantment, Beast Within. That's pretty much it, really. If they're not able to kill your mana, there's really no stopping the general. It's one of the most powerful generals in the game, I think, against mono green. And it's one of those, whenever you are playing mono green, it's just one of those nightmare matchups. I'm just leading with Island here because it's the least vulnerable thing, and I want to get the Thought Vessel out first. 1 mana. What could it be? What do you expect? Turn 1 Soul Ring. All right. Obviously, it's very, very powerful anytime, but actually almost at its weakest in Azusa, just because, I mean, I guess he gets the Azusa out a turn earlier, but they tend to have so much acceleration just in the form of land and the general that it's not as devastating. But it is going to change how I have to play, unfortunately, because here, if you think about the way that it would work out, I play the Thought Vessel on turn 2, he plays his second Forest and does nothing, and on turn 3 I play my general, and that's the turn when he casts Azusa and puts 2 more land into play, and that at which point the game just becomes academic, because I untap an attack with at least 4 mana and probably 5 mana available, and draw 30 cards, and certainly draw counters to stop whatever he does. So the Soul Ring does make all of the difference as usual. I'm going to play Thought Vessel here. And depending on what he does, I may actually not even be able to play Zur. So we're just going to see. Turn mana Azusa. Alright. I hope he just doesn't have any land to go with it. And not only does he have 2 lands to go with it, but he has Ancient Tomb. Cultivate. Pretty disgusting. He reveals 2 forests and plays both of them. So he went from having 3 mana in play on the last turn to having 8. 2, 4, 8. That seems fair. Fortunately, he only has 4 cards in hand, but this definitely completely changes what I have to do. I have to go for a longer term strategy now, because if I were to just put Zur out and he had one of a whole handful of potential cards, he could have one of the grotesque Eldrazi, like the one that exiles 2 permanents when it comes into play. The Ulamog, he could just have the regular Ulamog. He could have Kozilek. Wouldn't be the end of the world because he'd have to tap out to play it, and I would get an attack step in, though I'd have to waste my turn probably exiling the Kozilek rather than putting out Necro. But he could also have Duplicant. He can have Beast Within and the Treefolk enchantment, and I don't know, there's various other nightmare things. Even Terrastodon would be pretty horrendous, because though I could attack with Zur without any mana to cast the spells off Necro, I can't really do all that much with it. So I have to completely, as much as I want to play my Zur here, I have to play the safer play, which is going to be to Merchant Scroll for mana drain. Because if there's one thing Azusa and big mana do not like, it's this card right here, Mighty Mana Drain. So my backup plan here is actually threatening with Mana Drain. Hopefully he plays something, and I can actually just Mystical Tutor and Mind Twist his hand away in order to force him to top deck an answer to Zur on the following turn, which is a pretty big ask for mono green. So that's definitely my plan here, depending on what he does. So he cycles in a turn, plays Buried Ruin, and he's so mortified by what I could do that he just says done, which is awesome. So we're going to Mystical Tutor here. And in lieu of Mind Twisting, which is certainly tempting, I do want to just get Zur out, figuring I can protect it with Force of Will. Because, I mean, it's really, how many cards could he have that would interact with Zur in mono green, right? I'm just going to play Zur. Alright, 4 cards. Song of the Dryads. Alright, so he's got 1. I'm going to throw away the Muddle. And he has Duplicant also. God, how ridiculous. I mean, obviously, I can't be too mad because he didn't draw anything particularly good to go with his crazy mana draw. given that both of these cards are basically reactive. It does foil my plans, but I fortunately do have 2 more artifacts in my hand, so I'm not totally screwed. And he only has 1 card left, and he can't do anything this turn, so we're still looking okay. Obviously, if I had just slammed Zur, though, on turn 3, instead of playing the Merchant Scroll game, that would have really ended poorly. So we're just going to put out the Coalition Relic here. Buy myself some more time. The Swords is really nice, though. Ghost Quarter. Sure. Alright, in-step charge. He's got nothing. So this is a classic situation with Azusa, though. You have to play a lot of land to take advantage of the general, and very often you just find yourself with nothing to do after you put all your mana out, and this is definitely the case. Oh, Ancient Tomb. God, what a card. What a turn. What a draw that is. I mean, if you think about it, I was planning on just putting out the Worn Power Stone that turn, and then putting Zur out on the following turn, so this just speeds me up an entire turn. Just going to do that. And I'm actually tapping my Coalition Relic over these 2 lands, just because if he does have some artifact kill spell in his hand as the last card, and he were to top deck some miracle thing, I could still potentially lose this game if I leave the artifact open. So I figure the chances of him being able to kill one of these 2 lands with a Strip Miner or Wasteland are lower than being able to kill a Coalition Relic, so that's why I'm tapping it. And he probably just drew this, Caustic Caterpillar, which is not too bad, and lo and behold, that would have killed Coalition Relic if I had left it untapped and he had a good follow-up. But I'm not going to counter here. He's still tapping some more mana, and the last card in his hand is Cursor of Krufix, which... it's not threatening at all, but at the same time, I kind of want to just mana drain just to get the Worn Power Stone out for free. I figure I'm going to just draw more counterspells anyway off of Zur's ability, so they're interchangeable at this point. I do take 2 more damage, but not a big deal. Talisman, alright. I have 3 mana to spend. So easy and convenient. We're just going to play that. And I'm swordsing the Caterpillar here, and this is actually totally hoping that he'll kill Coalition Relic. I'm doing this before I attack, because obviously my game plan is to win with either Helm or with, and the Rest in Peace, and I can't win with either of those when this dorky thing is in play. So I'm really hoping, actually, that he'll make the wrong choice and kill my Coalition Relic over Thought Vessel. And sure enough, he does exactly what I had hoped. Cool. Normally I would spend the mana here to put out 1 Power Stone, but I figure it's not like I have to discard anyway because of the Thought Vessel, and this is enough mana to Cyclonic Rift with Overload, so I'm just going to attack here, get Necro. I'm going to pay a hell of a lot. I go all the way down to 10, which I figure is enough mana to likely survive an attack step and kill him on the next turn. How many cards is that? 16? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 15. I guess 1 card had been exiled for other purposes. Oh yeah, Muddle. Or in the graveyard. So here we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right, I forced with Muddle, that's why it's exiled. Okay, so here we go. I have the goods. I have more than enough counterspells to stop his turn. I have Disruption, and I have Fabricate. So we're looking pretty solid. Hits me to 7. It says done. So I'm going to brainstorm it in a turn, hopefully get something more fast mana-y. And I just get some more lands, so just throw those back. So I'm imprinting that with the Future Sight, which has no use. And I'm going to Thoughtseize here because he could potentially have the single out of Curse and Grip and screw my plans up. It does actually mean that the way that this works out is going to be dramatic, and he just has Mana Vault in hand, so kudos to him for not playing that. Attack. Rest in peace. So Gobbles up the graveyards. I'm at 5, and the way that this works out is actually quite hilarious. Because I've got 3 there, and I have to take 3 damage to do that. I go to 2. I Fabricate for the Helm. I have to take even more damage to play the Helm. And I'm at 1 and about to deck him with the Helm of Obedience. But pretty cool finale there. And just a classic example of why Zur is so good against, well, aggressive decks normally, but mono green in particular. and why Azusa can just come out so fast and then totally stumble. It's just one of the reasons why I definitely don't think it'll ever be a top-tier green commander. But hope you enjoyed that one, and I will hopefully have more to come. See you soon.